Hei folkens, det er tid for hva vi kaller på engelsk a little come to Jesus talk. That doesn't mean anything religious. It's a saying that means I'm about to give you some tough love. So this channel has been going for about a year, and you need to bear in mind that most people who follow me seem to like my takes on culture and ethical understandings of other cultures. That being said, although I try not to say negative things almost ever about Norway or Norwegians, sometimes y'all really don't like it if I say that y'all aren't perfect. And I'm about to tell you you're not perfect. I get asked all the time what's something I don't like, and I don't usually answer because, frankly, one thing I don't really love is that Norwegians are not often very able to hear critique and accept it, even if it's said very nicely. But I've been thinking about this for a few days. I waited till I wasn't angry anymore. I waited to see if I really thought this was something about ethical interactions with other cultures, or if it was just me being annoyed. But I decided, no, this is an ethics thing, and this is a cultural lesson that y'all can have. So let's start with the cultural difference. I believe that Norwegians tend to correct people a lot. This is just my observation as an outsider. Y'all will tell people when they're doing something wrong, when you think they're doing it wrong. And I've gone on the record here as saying, like, this is often an act of, like, care from Norwegians. All right, so I try to be understanding. And I guess there's no way for me to say this without a bunch of people saying that I'm wrong. So I'm just gonna say what I think because I think I'm right. Don't correct people's accents in foreign languages when they're speaking their second language. There's no benefit, and I think it's, maybe I could say rude, but actually I'm gonna say unethical. Grammar is completely different because people can memorize and learn grammar, okay? I don't mind hearing a rule that I need to practice. But accents are things that many, many, many people have no control over. Maybe some people that are very good at impressions, some people have a musical ear, but like y'all realize that in my head, what I'm saying sounds right, or it sounds as right as I can get it. With some when you learn a new language, you don't always have the muscles developed from infancy to make certain sounds. There's certain SH sounds that an American speaker can never actually make properly in Norwegian because we haven't developed the muscle and the soft palate. Okay, but think about this for a minute. If somebody could speak your language perfectly with no accent, wouldn't they do it? Wouldn't most people probably choose to try to do that? To me, when I talk, it sounds as right as it either sounds right in my head or I know it sounds wrong and I can't make the words come out of my mouth. Don't correct people. They can't help it. And y'all know that all of y'all have an accent when you speak English, right? Like, I know that Norwegians are pretty good at English, but I've met maybe one, maybe two, maybe three people that I couldn't hear that you weren't native. Do you want me to go around correcting you when you can't say W's? Why would I do that? Why wouldn't I just applaud how hard you've worked to learn another language? Now here I am getting a little mad. I've spent 23 years learning your very minor language, a minor language. And I have come over here and I champion Norwegian. I work really hard when it comes up to say that we need to make sure Norwegian stays a useful language that's viable. When you act like this, you encourage people, even like me, who are confident in the language, you encourage us to just use English because we don't want to be embarrassed. We don't want to be shamed because we got one sound wrong of your minor world language. You're harming your own culture's resiliency in the language because when you act that way to immigrants, they don't want to try. Because most immigrants don't come over here with the language competency that I came over with. And I know it makes me not want to try. And then think, maybe it's easy to like do this to me because I'm like a middle-class white American. But when you put these attitudes out there, would you treat somebody who wasn't white like this? Would you treat a flyktinger like that? Because yeah, I've spent 20 years learning your language, but every immigrant to every new country has a similar story of pouring their blood, sweat, and tears into trying to learn that language to integrate, particularly in Norway where you have to. So, no, you'll never convince me that there's a good reason to correct somebody's pronunciation unless they've asked you to. That's all I gotta say about that.